I can't believe. Oh wow!
Forgot my glasses. I can't see anything. Yes, I can.
You're nearsighted. You should have seen me.
Yeah, I see you. I don't see the screen very well though.
So you're farsighted then? Which do you see well, near or far?
I don't know. Good question.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Please leave us comments on Twitter, Instagram, iTunes, wherever you listen to this on. And we promise you that we will answer them next episode.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get our audience engaged.
Yeah. As of right now, I'm back in the mode of my microphone being too close to my face. I'm back in a mode of not caring about, like, obviously I care about the engagement. I'm looking forward to the engagement, but I'm not caring about, like, I'm not constantly, because there was a period of like a few days or actually a week or so where I was constantly looking at the viewer counts.
Yeah, me neither.
So I kind of stopped caring about that. And I
guys, it doesn't mean that Nima doesn't care about you. It just means that he doesn't care about if we have listens or not. Yeah. But we want to talk to people. We want to engage and answer questions and comments that you guys might have. Leave my money alone.
I care about how the sausage is made, not how many are sold. Boom.
Ooh, sausage. Have you seen that Budweiser commercial?
No. I don't see commercials that often.
Sausage.
Don't know it.
It's a great commercial. It's the dog talking and he loves sausages.
Dude, as somebody who doesn't get, like, I don't view that many commercials at all. Like, I don't have regular TV, so I don't watch it that way. And YouTube, I pay for YouTube Red, so I don't see commercials on there either.
Yeah.
I miss out on so many commercials, and it's fascinating how big commercials are in our regular society because people keep talking about them.
The good ones. There's a lot of crappy commercials out there.
Yeah, but the good ones come up, and I'm just like, I don't know.
So I'm going to say really quick the few things I want to talk about.
Or, you're going to just say all of them back to back?
Briefly talk about. Yeah, so, people listening to this, they're going to talk about this within the next hour.
Do it. I like it.
First of all, the big thing on NPR that I heard this week was the medical mistakes leading to lots of deaths annually. Apparently, medical mistakes are the third killer in America. Isn't that nuts?
No.
That's what they were saying.
Really?
Maybe I completely... Also, guys...
No, I don't know anything about this. So this is news to me. So
yeah, our facts are always kind of like, we're trying to get better at this. But this is what I heard, and I'm not surprised. Because, I feel like we can touch up on this later, but people are going into the medical field just because it makes them a lot of money, especially the doctors and stuff. Not because they're passionate, which is wrong.
You're correct, by the way.
Yeah. Spectre. I looked at Spectre again. I watched it. Did you watch Spectre?
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't like it the first time because I was hoping for something like Skyfall, but it's amazing. Like
Spectre?
Yeah, there's some shots that are so long. Like Sam Mendes, same guy who made
what was that movie called? Beautiful something.
I don't know, but he didn't make the last James Bond, not Spectre, the one before it.
He made Skyfall. Skyfall was gorgeous.
Skyfall is gorgeous,
just
but
like unbelievable.
This one was gorgeous too, dude.
In a different, like,
there's a shot, the beginning shot. I think it's a one taker.
They faked a one taker.
Oh, dang it!
I know it's really so hard nowadays to do a legit one taker. But at the same time, like, we can talk about this later. But if technology is allowing you to do one takers better, but in a fake kind of way, just do it better. I'm okay with that. Like, it doesn't need to be legit, like holding a camera for like 10 minutes.
It looks cool.
It looks great.
Yeah. God, the beginning scene when he's wearing the mask and they walk through the crowd to get to the hotel room, like the camera switched to the girl.
Yeah.
Switch back to him. He's out the window and he's like setting up to kill someone. It's pretty good. And then I had some ideas, man. Well, same movie. There's a scene where James Bond is in his bathrobe. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bathrobe before. I was like kind of giggling because he was in his bathrobe.
What scene was that?
When he's in his flat.
Oh yeah, his flat is kind of a bigger deal. The fact that you're seeing his flat is a huge deal.
Yeah. Oh. Well, it's quite
you care about the
empty.
bathrobe? Yeah.
He's wearing a fucking bathrobe.
I wonder if Sam Mendes is doing the next. I don't think he is. I think he's done with James Bond.
Yeah, but I don't even know if Daniel Craig's doing one more.
Yeah, that's also up in the air.
He's getting old, man. But that last one was great. It was so good. Like, I wish I saw it for how good it was the first time around. And then I had ideas when I was watching it.
What ideas?
You know how...
We can start talking about ideas now.
This is probably going to get stolen.
No.
Someone smart listen to this. But you know how Disney's got Star Wars. And they're making a huge universe with different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Marvel has the same thing.
Yeah.
DC has the same thing.
Yeah.
Superheroes, whatever.
Yeah.
Why isn't James Bond people doing the same thing?
It's not your idea. They already talked about it like 2 weeks ago.
to making a super universe?
They said,
Why don't they make spin-offs and shit?
But they said that's our universe. They said that's our profitable thing. They said that's our main thing, but they didn't.
But they're not making it.
They kind of hinted at they're not going to do an every year thing. They said what makes James Bond good.
So they're gonna make more of different. Why don't they make spin-offs of Q? And stuff?
They might. Like, what they're gonna do is they're not gonna overcrowd it by every year thing. They said every 2 or 3 year cycle.
That's good,
works
because
out for them.
waiting like 5-6 years for a new James Bond is kind of annoying to me.
How long is it?
Well,
is
maybe
it 5 or 6
maybe
years?
4 years. Maybe it's 4 years.
Dude, you know what was a James Bond movie that was easily forgettable? The second one in this new group of James Bond.
Quantum of Solace.
Is that what it was?
It was the weakest link, yeah, so far. But I had another idea. Like, it'd be cool, and I think it could be better if it was a funny kind of movie, like the American funny movie. Have you seen Johnny English, which is a spoof? Yeah. Okay, what if, think about it this way: James Bond. All right, every actor is like blonde, blue eyes, then it's black hair, black eyes, then blonde, blue eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of been like this. Not exactly. So it's pretty cool. It's always like they change it up like that. But what if someone made a spin-off, like a funny movie, American style funny, where it starts like it's a James Bond movie, very mysterious, very cool. It's the black hair James Bond, whatever.
Okay.
His name would be obviously different, or maybe don't even say the name. It's 00 agent, whatever.
008.
Within the story, as it's developing, he has to work with another 00 agent, which is a blonde with blue eyes, and turns out they're brothers. And then the movie can get really funny, kind of like Step Brothers, but in this spying world.
Okay.
That's my idea.
But what I want to know more about it. Like, that's cool, super general.
Yeah, I know. Well, you start like this and then make it like funnier and still badass, like badass action, but funny. But they're brothers and they're figuring this out. You're like, oh my gosh, how could that be? And they can be best friends from then on, and they can share girls or whatever. It'd be hilarious.
See, like, I find comedy to be really terrifying. Like, all the ideas that we've had and all the ideas that we'll continue to have, they're gonna all be, as far as I know right now, they're all pretty serious. And like, they might not be like serious as in life-changing kind of way, but they're not comedy in any kind of way.
Right.
Because I find comedy's got to be really hard. I can't.
Yeah.
For me to come up with a situation that's dramatic or action or anything like that, it's easier.
Yeah.
But for me to come up with something that's funny,
some people have
almost impossible.
But some people are born with that funny gene, and they are good at making funny stuff.
Yeah, it's not in me. I don't have the funny gene. I enjoy the funny shit, but I don't.
But it'd be a cool idea right there.
I think that's a great idea.
Kind of a spin-off thing.
Yeah. So all the ideas that we just had, nobody's allowed to steal them. Okay. All the people that are listening, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, isn't it copywritten since we just talked about it?
I don't know. The more I think about copyright and stuff, I feel like it shouldn't apply. Like everything's an idea that's stolen from something else. I'm talking. Oh, wait. Okay. Never mind. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Talking.
I was looking at my stupid bar thing. But you should just hide that from me. I should not.
Have you seen? Well, you must see commercials once in a while on the internet.
I don't know, where would I see them.
I saw a commercial for the new phone, the new HTC, I think, the one that's modular kind of. You can add stuff to it.
That's LG. You're talking about Jason Statham?
Yeah,
that's a funny ass commercial.
I love that.
Yeah,
you would be great at one of those roles, man. He's too old to play James Bond, but I think
he will never play James Bond.
Are you serious? He had an article where he was just like, fuck yeah, in a heartbeat.
He wouldn't. They wouldn't offer James Bond to somebody who's been doing kind of James Bond for his whole life.
I know, but he's too old now.
I don't think age matters. I think one of the guys that they're talking about doing James Bond, whatever his name is, I think he's older. The guy that was in Luther. All right, good talk. Oh, man. You know, one thing I wrote a note that I wanted to mention. On another podcast, I heard somebody else mention that basically, not a podcast, it was a Q&A, I think. He was trying to give life advice, basically about, how to do the things you want to do and maybe even become successful. Like, a couple of things that he mentioned, I really want to try to do. Like he said, he splits his life in 40-minute or 20 or 40-minute brackets.
Who?
I don't know his name. G something.
What does he do?
He's a YouTuber guy. The one that has 2 million subscribers.
All right.
He does really informative videos. That's all he does.
That's cool.
But he also has a podcast. It's called Hello Internet. And I think on his YouTube channel, he mentioned, so divides his life in 20 or 40-minute increments. So he does tasks in those increments, and obviously takes breaks, and he tries to do as many things as he can.
Like for his job, pretty much, for his podcast, for his
for
videos.
everything. Yeah. So
That's cool.
he tries to figure out, like, let's say if I'm going to take on a new task, how many of these increments is it going to take me to do that task?
Right.
So
Gosh, I
it's
kind of do
great.
that for my days, dude.
I need to do that.
Dude, I bet you I save an hour a day doing this.
Oh my god.
And I
need
bet
to do that.
he saves even more.
Dude, I need to do that. And another thing he mentioned is he has never taken a job. I could be paraphrasing this and saying it wrong. He's never taken a job to simply take more money. If he had the choice between taking a job that gives him more money or taking a job that's less money but gives more of his life hours back to him, meaning less hours, he's always taking the one that's less money but more hours of his life back.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And I've
I'm
never
sure
thought
he's
about it that
got. I'm
way.
sure he's got like the bracket of okay, what's not enough money for a job, and
Oh sure,
Yeah,
like
'cause I mean-
like how to live and stuff.
yeah,
But once I need to start thinking about it that way too. Is
dude, you're right. I mean,
live with
that's-
smaller amounts of money but have more time to create and do things.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, if I wasn't doing this with my time, with my jobs,
Mm-hmm.
I would not have time for this. I would not have time for playing with the band, Dayweather. I would not have time for that. I'm working around 30 hours a week right now.
That's really nice.
I know, but I want to cut it down to 20 eventually.
That's
It's not going to
super
be
nice.
for the next 2-3 years, but after that, I should be good. I'm getting like 7 new customers a week right now. Oh no,
See,
every 2 weeks.
Like I
Crazy.
have a corporate job and I just came from a corporate meeting and this is driving me nuts. I feel like my life is wasted, but your life is at least building towards like opportunities.
Yeah, but it's
And
so
I need
hard,
to,
man.
I need to figure out a way to get into that. I'm
You-
getting
you
really
gotta
tired
find
of
a,
corporate
you guys
life.
make awesome content with your brother. You need to like just, I don't know, like live on your savings for as long as you can, and while that's happening, just find people to that pay you to make commercials or what have you. I mean, designs and stuff. If you can do them quickly, it's great, but I don't know. Yeah, you have to find something that you're. I mean, I know I'm good with like handyman stuff, and I'm good at organizing my time and my place, and so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now to make money. But I don't want to do that forever.
I know,
But
but
the more time I have not doing that, the more time I have to think of better ways to make money.
what you're doing right now is also enabling you to do other things.
Yeah.
Like my job is obviously enabling me to do this.
Yeah.
But I know that if I had something else, it would enable me to do more things. But obviously, that's an excuse because I'm still not using my free time to the fullest ability yet.
That's hard, man, because sometimes after work, I don't want to do anything.
Dude,
but I
me
got
too.
laundry to do, I got dishes, I got this, I got that. Like, I come home, I'm so tired. My dogs are like, yeah, play. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad, but I'm going to go crash right now.
Yeah, dude. And there's your like interpersonal relationships. There's your job. So like life gets exhausting. So to
Yeah.
do like it
True.
doesn't get exhausting that I don't want to do things, but I simply don't have the energy to do things. I would much rather lay down and just.
Yeah, but if you think about if you start eating better and exercising just a little bit, then your energy level goes up, and so you're not as tired after an 8-hour day at the office, and then you come home kind of still refreshed. Just take a quick shower, wash your face, brush your teeth, whatever you need to do, eat something, have some coffee, and then you're good to go for 3-4 hours. I've read somewhere that probably in like Men's Health back in the day when I was reading that, for guys, like mid to late afternoon is when we get that testosterone boost of energy. But a lot of people come home at that time, they're so tired from work that it just cancels itself out. Something like that. But
Yeah, but also that I imagine. I mean, I'm saying that firsthand. Like going through that work life, right? Having the stress and not eating healthy and not exercising, which impacts other things. That impacts your testosterone levels and it impacts your energy level then down the
Yeah.
line. So it's really not healthy. I need to turn certain things around in my life. Like obviously, I'm in decent shape. I'm not overweight or
Yeah.
anything like that. But
Yeah.
I could be in better shape. Absolutely, and I have full control over that. I could eat better. It's getting really gross eating beef. The more I eat it, the more
Yeah.
I'm just like.
honestly, and I don't know if that's all placebo effect on my end. I heard a cool thing on the radio about placebo effect today. This guy was saying it's not just about a sugar pill that you take as a placebo. It can apply to almost everything in your life. Like, anyways.
Did you listen to it this morning?
Yeah.
That was great. Is
The
that the one with the
Indian
test?
guy?
With the yeah.
Yeah, I didn't listen to all of it because I only get snippets of stories because I'm in and out of my truck all the
That
time.
was a great one.
But back to eating meat, for example. I don't know if it's placebo or anything, but I'm gonna say 3-4 months ago, I cut my meat consumption by more than half. Meaning I only have like, if I have steak, that'd probably like be one of my 2 only meat meals that week.
Okay.
And then, well, I still eat a lot of fish and stuff, but like chicken, steak, and what have you, I keep it down to like as little
Even
as
chicken?
I can. Yeah, even chicken.
Okay.
Like, you know, like as far as eating meat per day, you're really not supposed to eat more than like a deck of cards worth.
Okay.
So I think just start cutting down meat and also cheese and stuff. But meat, for me, it did it. Like, I love cheese too much, man. I feel like cheese gives me superpowers, honestly. But I was brought up on like
I was just say
dairy.
you're French.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, try that, man. Try and stop eating meat as much. That'll help.
Yeah, and honestly, we need to.
And water, dude. Drink so much water.
I drink a lot of water. That's why I have to like pee all the time. One of the things that I want to do is not only eat healthy and turn things around. I want to take more control over my time and start creating more and more things. That's why we're doing that other podcast. That's why I want to make little snippets of the podcast for this one and then create videos. And honestly, like I decided that I'm okay with talking about our ideas on this podcast because then that way it will push us to do more and more and more.
Are you making snippets from the podcasts?
I'm trying to.
That's cool. There's some funny things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, the more we do this, like hopefully something will happen, you know, slowly but surely. Plus it's fun. If it wasn't fun, we would be stopped. We'd have stopped already. Mm-hmm. That's why I kind of miss writing. Like, remember when we went through a few months where we were writing that awesome story?
Yeah. Let's go back into it.
Yeah.
Like I've thought about, here's what I was thinking. You know how in our story we have, the first episode has a huge voiceover, right? Because you're hearing the supposed message,
right,
the whole time. Let's go back into that, and like when we're having a brainstorming session, let's even try to record it. Let's try to record it in different ways and try to
remember what I sent you like a few months ago about what it would be like as an astronaut.
Yeah,
that would fit. Something like that would fit well. Like very dramatic, but like makes you think hardcore.
Dude, one of the things that I really like about that story is the time span that it happens and the events that it covers.
Yeah,
it's actually a really nice thing because it covers. We can go back into regular society, what society is like as at the verge of this huge change through this one guy or two guys or three guys' point of view, and going forward, even you can go like past that and what society is like and what needs to happen down the line. So you can even bring space and astronauts and things like that. That's it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Remember the ending idea I kind of had for it?
No. Tell me.
Where it was like, you know, well, we know the world is kind of like slowing down.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, you know, a few years down the road, after we've done a bunch of character development and all that, the top scientists left over on Earth are like, okay, well, we only have like 57 years or so to live before we can't live here anymore. And obviously, it's too late to go space exploration.
Yeah.
But just that alone is a huge like mind fuck, you know, for audiences, and they'll be like, wow. And so every character from that point on is like, wow. And it's cool because maybe like, and back in track, these characters have to get as all the events are going, as chaos is happening, they get their information from somewhere. It'd be cool if that information comes from the same source, like they all tune in the same app or radio station, and so it cuts to, and maybe one of the main characters can be that journalist guy who talks about this, who broadcasts it to the world. And then one episode is him talking, showing him talking about something serious at the end of his episode, picks up next episode with another character listening to him and going on with his day. This is exciting. We need to like keep writing this story. We need to
get this shit done.
Yeah.
And you know what's fun?
I don't care about recording anything or the film anyways. I just want to write the story because that's more important than anything.
I agree, but like I talked to you last year about this program that I got that Valve made, which is Source Filmmaker. I did my best. I learned it, but it still wasn't a good fit. Like I started to operate within
even for a very, very rough draft.
Yeah, because you still have to operate within this game world, which is tough to do things that are like
that we want to
do. Even I don't care if it's perfect anyway. It doesn't need to even look good, but it needs to give me a rough draft of what we're looking at.
Do you think it's not power enough?
But
can you write stuff on the screen as you see images? Because if you could write stuff, even if you can't get like something to do something you want, you can describe it.
That this is going here, but here's what I found out, and I got it last week, and hopefully it will give us a push. Oh, dude, you're drinking something. I'm so jealous. No, it's okay. Unreal is made by a company named Epic. Epic is a software company. They're known for making games, but obviously their biggest moneymaker is their engine, meaning a 3D animation and basically a piece of software that translates code and what you do into 3D visuals. They're used in movies, games, and everything. They license it out. So last year or the year before that, they made a complete shift in their business model, meaning that if you want to use that engine and the tools, absolutely free going forward. Meaning you buy it, you do whatever you're going to do with it. At the point that
Is it
start,
free or you buy it?
No. Like you download it,
Okay.
you use it, everything's free. It's great. I got it.
But if you make money, you pay.
At the point that you start making money is when
It's
you
like
pay.
a license fee.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, it's perfect. And I got it, and I know nothing about 3D modeling, animation, anything like that. It's so easy to use. Like I can make that little one set for our movie that we're talking about.
For the first episode?
Yeah, like
the
in a
huge
day.
room?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
make that in a day. Just put simple lights around, and we can work with that and work with the way if the story and the timing makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm going to start doing. But I want to focus on writing first. I want to get that writing done, get a rough draft of that speech done as quickly and as best as possible. We can always keep changing it, but let's keep getting in the habit of doing it.
Yeah. Don't hit your laptop.
I know.
You know, like as soon as I saw the preview for the Hardcore Henry movie,
Yeah. I
was
know you
like,
wanna do first person.
I want to do that. Not just that, just like the beginning. Like the first scene of our story, the guy's waking up.
Yeah.
There's this message playing.
Yeah.
He's had it on loop forever, trying to understand it. He's walking around his room, like picking up tapes, looking at things, playing it, looking, going somewhere, looking.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how we can get a shot of the wall where
Yeah.
he's drawn stuff.
Man, I forgot about that wall.
And then when shit gets down in that episode, when he starts seeing, maybe he sees the cameras from outside, that's when he rushes out of his room, he opens the door, and that's when it picks up in the big room and he starts running towards the front door with his gun.
Okay.
That could be cool. That can't be that hard to make.
No, it's not. But it's hard to convince me about the first person thing.
Just for the beginning.
I get it. Like,
And,
I
then,
totally
and maybe
get it.
that's how we introduce every single new characters. Oh,
With a
that's the
first
new
person?
characters because it's first person. And then we never go back to first person.
I get it.
Unless it's a new character.
The introduction of each character is done by
Yeah.
first person.
Yeah.
I get it.
And maybe the last season when they learn that it's the end of the world in 50 years, we can see them like going to talk to their loved ones and shit. Oh, who knows? In the first person to close it up. Nice. You have that smirk on your face.
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, we should start working on that again. But I want to talk about something else.
I know. I don't want to get sidetracked from what you want to talk about.
Obama is going to Hiroshima.
Yes, he is. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I think
it's so. What's the word like? Not him going there, but the fact that we don't want nuclear weapons and we're like the most massive murderer because we dropped and killed 200,000
Dude,
people
yeah.
in this century.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. That was like, what, 30 years before we were born? Or 40 years before we were born. That's fucked up, man.
It is fucked up,
It's
but I think U.S. is
hypocritical.
acknowledging it. At least this White
I
House
hope
is
so.
acknowledging it. No, there's a whole thing about the fact that he's going there, but he's not going to apologize, and he shouldn't apologize. And Japan is shockingly but positively agreeing that this shouldn't be an apology. You're not coming here to apologize. Let's come and look forward and let's try to fix things. But the White House spokesman put it very well. He says, hey, one of the things that this president cares about a lot, hate him or love him, he cares about putting nuclear power under control. Like, he's really proud of the nuclear deal with Iran, the deal that he has with Russia about limiting it. But at the same time, we're the one that spends the most money in making our own nuclear weapons even better, like, and more powerful and upgrading it.
That's
But
why
at the
that's
same
why the
time,
other countries are frustrated.
they are. But
It's kind of messed up.
It is messed
It's like
up.
we're the big bully.
we are, because we're the only country in history that's ever used a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. That doesn't make it right for us to be the only country allowed to use it per our standards.
No, well, the goal is that nobody should ever use it, including
Right.
U.S. So the spokesperson for the White House said it puts U.S. in a good situation to be like, hey, we're the ones that used it, and we're saying we shouldn't use it again. So everybody should be on board with us. Like, we're coming from the right mindset that it might seem like a right thing for you, but trust us.
But then why are they making our nuclear technology,
Better?
especially for weapon, that much better? Why are they doing
it's a
this then?
deterrent. The way it
Yeah,
works is
I
that if I
understand
have a
that.
really powerful weapon, maybe
mess
you're
with
not
me.
going to attack me.
That makes sense.
But then if everybody has a really powerful weapon, then it's all in the same
Like,
level. and
sure,
it's-
we have probably the most powerful nuclear weapons out there, but I don't care because the countries with the like least powerful nuclear weapon can still destroy a whole continent.
Yeah.
So
ISIS
fuck off,
doesn't have
you know?
nuclear weapons. They're still fucking up everybody's life.
Yeah,
whenever
exactly.
they decide to. Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I agree.
just
Do you
messed
think
up, dude.
you don't think he should apologize, right? You don't think he should be going there to apologize, or do you? I'm not putting it. I should.
I don't
put
know.
it that
That's
way.
a good question. When I heard it earlier this morning that the spokesman said that he's not there to apologize, I'm like, I understand why,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like, I just couldn't help but feeling like we're hypocrites.
We killed 200,000 people. Yeah.
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 Like, and then we're out and telling all these countries not to make nuclear weapons, and we're the one making ours that much better all the time. It's just it's fucked up. I'm starting to understand why people hate this country.
Yeah, we're really hypocritical. We got our hands in everything, and it's really bad. But once you think about the politics and everything that drives it, it's hard not to at least get it a little bit why an apology is a really hard thing for him to do in this situation.
Because an apology would not be appropriate either.
Because like everybody, I think, I don't know much about it. Maybe I should read up on it more. But I think everybody is under the understanding is as horrible as a thing that was. That
It
we
would have
dropped
been
those
worse
bombs.
if we didn't. Yeah,
Correct.
That's exactly it.
So it's hard to apologize for that. Like
Yeah,
Japan should not
that's-
have attacked us, right?
Right. No, there's
So,
no apology.
yeah.
Like it's done.
Yeah.
You know, it's like however many years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think the
that's-
hypocrisy.
I just
at
don't
some
know
point needs to
why
stop.
is he going there?
He cares a lot about it. Like that's obviously something that's really important to him.
Yeah.
He's been to Japan many times, but he hasn't made a trip to Hiroshima, and partially because it's kind of a big deal for president of the U.S. to go there. This is the first time that a president's ever going there.
Yeah.
It's any president, and he didn't know how to do it. The story is that I believe the president wants to end his presidency with a big symbolic gesture. So this kind of fits it.
Right.
And I mean, I don't blame him. If
No.
I had the ability to, I would love to go to Hiroshima to see a city that we destroyed with one bomb, and to see Japan come back and build it again. And like Japan went from being the evil one in that story to one of the ones that everybody looks to.
I don't
up
understand
to now.
why it's. I mean, after an event like this, it kind of shows how maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Neither do either of us
No.
with this show, but
Yeah.
maybe it kind of, to me, it kind of shows how good. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this happened to Japan back in the day. America did to Japan back in the day. To me, it's like, okay, why isn't a country like Japan turn like a country like North Korea instead? Because of that, that anger towards America because of the bombing back in
You're
the
saying
day.
take it out on North Korea or join them? Join them.
Become like a.
Oh yeah.
Japan has not become like North Korea, who's just like
I think that's part of the
Defiant
deals
and all
that
that.
they worked out deals after the war.
they worked out deals, but it to me also
Right.
means like it almost means like the Japanese culture is very, very, very. I don't even know what the
They're
word
honor
is.
based. They're hugely
very
honor
good.
based,
Like
yeah.
they didn't take that and turn against the rest of the world, especially the U.S. They're working with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And they're like one of the most developed countries, man. I can't wait to go there. I'm gonna go there.
Dude, like they have this honor system as far as wars go. Like they knew that attacking Pearl Harbor was like the best way I can put it. It was a necessary thing that they felt like they needed to do. Right?
Yeah, sure.
The generals, even the ones that made the decision, on the back of their minds, there's some regret. There's some regret for the life that's lost on both sides, the U.S. and American, and that's all the way through with the Pacific Wars and stuff. Like they regret that their soldiers are dying. They regret that the U.S. soldiers are dying, because when you think about war, it's usually between two countries and two governments. But the people that pay the price are the
Civilians,
cheap and the poor
soldiers.
civilians. Yeah. So there's always been record in their history, even with the suicide flight
Yeah.
that the
Kamikazes.
the kamikazes. There's honor in that. Like they understood life, they understood the sacrifice that they made. So I think it's a culture thing, and it's probably an Asian culture thing. They really care about culture. Like they have a definite understanding of what's good and bad. Like, and I feel like that hasn't gone away with them. Like they realize that, hey, this World War II thing was a bad thing in our history, and they move forward with it. But I mean, partially because of the economical help that the rest of the world gave to them going forward, and they seized it and they did the right thing with it.
Really? Did they? So the rest of the world felt bad?
I think what happened after World War II is the rest of the world united in a way, like if it didn't
to help Japan,
to help each other.
Oh, okay.
All the way through.
Gotcha.
Obviously, and that's something that worked out really nicely for
that's
US.
amazing.
Because
Yeah.
and that's why our economy kind of boomed afterwards for quite a while.
I
all the
thought
way
our
up
economy boomed because of World War II.
That's what I'm saying. Because
but not afterwards, during it.
no, during and afterwards. During
Huh.
because they needed to do the manufacturing, they hired people to get the items for war, and afterwards because we were left as a nation that wasn't really that badly damaged at all. Like Pearl Harbor was about it.
Yeah.
So while the rest of the world was falling apart and into pieces, London was on fire. Europe was going after whatever happened with Hitler and recuperating after that. U.S. was left there with the power and the ability to help them. So it kind of worked out nicely, and obviously the rest of the world took it. And if I'm not mistaken, that's roughly around the time that U.S. became, what we know of today as the world's superpower, as the world's police.
So that's why the U.S. is in this position now.
Yeah.
Of like kind of like a making sure everybody like stays down in a way and don't fuck up your neighbors kind of thing. But
that's why our army's so big and we're so into military, because if you think about it from the big picture kind of thing, we're like,
so
don't fuck up again. We don't want to do this again.
Exactly. So if all this is true, then the bad governments around the world are using that, knowing full well that America was part of the world's recovery after the war.
Yeah.
And they're using that, but using propaganda, they're just telling their people like, hey, America's bad because they're a big bully.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. America has done some very bad, big bully things. They did it in Europe. They've done it in South America, where they overthrew democratic governments and replaced them with, yes, those governments are using messaging to build hatred towards U.S., but U.S. is also doing a lot of shitty things. They're doing propaganda on their own people, like join the military.
I don't even want to go there. It's fucking terrible.
So it's like, as much as, yes, World War II was kind of what they put as the last good war. It was the war that we had that everybody agreed on both sides that, hey, we should have gone there. We did the right thing. We helped people. All those things were good, right?
Do you think these things work in a cycle, and you think it's gonna be another war and then another awesome?
Dude, we've had wars every year.
Maybe for the whole world to get better and get over global warming and start doing space exploration. Well, maybe another war needs to happen.
I don't think so, because how many wars have we had in the last 30, 40 years?
Those are petty wars.
But everybody agrees that
they're terrible.
There was a horrible wars. We shouldn't have been involved. Why do we keep doing this?
Who knows? We'll never know why this happened. It's only the people that are rich and up there in the government and politics that know why. Not just in the US, probably around the globe.
Yeah. Do we want to? I'm going to talk about the medical death thing.
Yeah, that's.
I want you to tell me about it.
I had a thought before. Oh, did you know that Budweiser? You know what they're doing?
What are they doing?
Budweiser's renaming their beer America.
No, they're not.
They're putting. I don't know if they're renaming their. I don't think they're renaming their whole company. Okay. But on their Budweiser Light or whatever beer cans, it's gonna be called America instead of Budweiser. It's gonna say America, Nima. It's gonna say America.
Really?
That's a huge. Why? The only reason to do that is to re-up their brand and
it's
get
a PR thing. Yeah.
Then it's just for people who are super patriotic that are gonna buy the beer.
Okay, the can of patriotic nectar
there you go.
will be available May 23rd through November election and aim to inspire drinkers to celebrate America and Budweiser's shared values of freedom and authenticity.
Holy crap. I wonder if Trump is behind this.
Do we want to talk about Trump? There's a couple of things I want to say about Trump. A, he's coming out like a little child and saying he's not releasing his tax returns. He's saying that there's not much to find out there, and he's using so many loopholes and blah 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 that he doesn't want other people to find out. I don't even know if any of that is true. I just read an article.
Shady.
And on top of that, he is also saying that he wants to abolish the federal minimum wage. And honestly, it frustrates me that we don't even have solid Republicans running under conservative
Right.
government base anymore. Like somebody saying they want to abolish the federal minimum wage means that person doesn't know why the federal minimum wage exists. Like the federal minimum wage exists because states were taking advantage of their employees.
Right.
And when it was up to them to set a minimum wage, they're like, you know what? Why don't we just not do one or set it really low? So the businesses were basically more or less putting people into slavery, meaning we're going to pay you very little.
Yeah. Those people can barely pay their expenses.
Yeah, so the federal government had to come in and set a standard. At least they're saying at least pay them $750.
Right.
Like do that at least.
Right.
So for Trump to this day and age to come out and be like, you know what, I'm going to take it away. Like, do you not know what this shit is for? Like,
Honestly, I don't know. Like me and Saurabh had a conversation about with Sorrow too. He was involved about the minimum wage being like brought higher, like $15 an hour and stuff. I understand why they're doing that. At the same time, they're doing that because people can't pay their rent, they can't pay their food, they can't really go on with their lives and grow. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like instead of giving them minimum wage, higher minimum wage and again, I don't know anything about economics. I'm just a regular person talking about it.
It's not black and white, so
don't quote me. Don't call me an idiot. I'm just asking questions here. Isn't it like easier to have? It probably isn't easier, but maybe the people renting their places are charging way too fucking much money for that. Maybe the food industry is charging too much for the food that we're eating. Maybe everything else is too expensive for what it is, like phone usage and stuff like that. Because like, if someone's gonna get paid $15 an hour to flip burgers and stuff like that, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that job. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying it's really easy.
Yeah.
14 years old could do it.
Yeah. But that job is also going to be replaced by an automated thing soon. But go ahead, keep talking.
I'm working my ass off outside every day.
Uh-huh.
Sure, I'm making a lot more than $15 an hour. But if people start making a minimum wage of $15 an hour, then everybody's pay is going to go up because everybody's going to start bitching, and I'm going to start bitching.
Yeah, as you should.
So,
if you feel like your time's worth more money, you absolutely should.
So it's like it's.
But it also ties into
I see both sides of the argument here.
I know.
Transparency of the companies
really
who charge too much for their services.
Like the medical industry, which I was listening yesterday.
Isn't there a huge thing right now about this?
Yeah, in U.S. there was a CEO of a pharmaceutical guy that story's been running a couple times in NPR last couple of days. Is he was saying the problem with the U.S. medical system is that nobody really knows how much stuff costs here. Like when you don't know how much stuff costs, like they get to charge as much as they want.
Yeah,
but
profit.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with capitalism is. We can't have a government that controls the price for everything. So we can't have a government that says, this is the max rent, this is the max food. So at the bare minimum, I think a minimum wage should be set to control,
Sure. But again, it's back to my whole theory of this country being too big. I understand why some of these like state government people are saying, telling the federal government to leave them alone. Mm-hmm. That makes sense because something that's going to work well in California is not going to work well in New Jersey, whatever.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm down for the federal government to oversee other things. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I get it. You're that one of the most valid things about being a conservative Republican is that argument. If you make that argument really well, it's hard to argue against it. Like I could disagree with it. I could disagree with every fiber of my being, but I will admit that you may not be wrong, and I could be wrong because that's the base of being a Republican. To say that the states should have power to make those decisions themselves because that's what we've built on. We're built on smaller states that are operating under a federal government umbrella. Yeah. That the federal government should be taking care of bigger picture things, not the state level things. So,
but they need funding from the rest of the country and all
which
that.
They do get funding, and that's okay. And
but that's what they're pickering about the budget and stuff like that.
But they're also hypocritical because, and I feel like what I'm saying is incorrect because it might have changed since the last time I read it, but. If memory serves me correctly, the Republican conservative states are the ones that take in more tax money from the federal government that they give back to the federal government.
Really?
Meaning that what do you call it? The Democratic states, as they're known, they give back more money to the government than they take in. But that's also could be simply because of population based on how they work. Like California, it's massive, so obviously it's going to give a lot of tax.
Well,
money.
I mean, then you got to look at ratios and stuff, like percentages.
But so things like that, I get it. Like some states are saying, hey, 15 is not necessary for our states. Or some states might be saying, yeah, 15 is still too low for our states. We should be
Sure.
going higher. But I feel like there should be some sort of bar set in the middle. And that's one of the things that, as much as, like, this is one thing I agree on with Republicans. If you want federal oversight of things, like if you want the federal government to take care of things when they absolutely need to, this seems like one of those situations where they absolutely need to. And it's the same exact way with elections. I feel like we should have federal government oversight over elections.
Absolutely.
Our state is a perfect example
Yeah.
of when you don't have federal government oversight over our elections. Our state has proven time and time again that they will not only mess it up, they will make mistakes, and they will somehow magically make mistakes towards a side that they don't like.
Yeah.
So
No, you mean against the side that they don't want.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So when the Supreme Court came in and said, "Hey, it's been so long since the civil rights thing, those states do not need to be paying the extra harder price of providing what they called voter protection rights when they don't need to. It's been so
Yeah.
long, it shouldn't be on the states." So the Supreme Court came in and said, "Hey, we're going to take away those portions of the, whatever you call it, the Voter Protection Act or whatever it was called." And as soon as they did that, as soon as those states did not have to provide their proof to the federal
People
government,
made it harder for people to vote.
exactly, immediately.
I know.
What happened in
Gosh.
Arizona was a perfect proof of that. They
Yeah.
no longer had to provide to the federal government that they're providing enough election spots, that they're making sure everything's running well. Everybody got fucked over. And they're doing it again with the whole not providing both sides of what's happening to the law.
Yeah.
That's just happening this week.
Like Mariah was telling me that they messed up in sending the latest ballots.
yeah, that's ongoing right now.
That's so, come on, guys.
We have an election coming up that the government of Arizona has yet to provide both sides of what the laws are that they're proposing,
Yeah.
which is a huge thing.
And
You
they
need to
don't
do
know.
that.
That's the state of the country, I guess. No one knows what they should do next, and that translates to bigger people who are supposed to make, laws and different options for people to vote on. They don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
It's frustrating.
And again, we don't know anything. We don't know if what we're saying is right either. It's just like what we read and what we speculate about. It's frustrating. There's too many people. There's this country's too big. I'm not advocating for dividing it in 2 or 3. I'm just saying if we're 2, 3 countries instead, independent countries, it'll be easier, I think.
Yeah, but
because it's smaller.
that will never happen.
Of course it would not.
America. Even they try to divide up California every once in a while, and it still doesn't happen.
So North California, South
Yeah,
California.
they always want to divide into 5 different states or something.
Yeah.
Or Texas constantly wanting to get away from U.S. and it just doesn't happen. It's such a funny thing that
They want to make their own countries. What led them?
Texas is really independent.
What did they have? They have a lot of oil. That's it.
They have a lot of oil.
And they have some of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, they also have a lot of dumb people that think Texas should get away from the country, and somehow there's conspiracies about the fact that they think when Texas joined the states, there was some sort of a footprint that said they can get away, which is completely not true.
Like a clause in the-
everybody's proved that wrong. That a state can't just be like bye and then
See
leave.
you later.
It just doesn't work that way.
What if Trump builds a wall just around Texas?
Oh God, it's so dumb. I don't get why there's so many conspiracy theories around Texas, or the time there was the whole birther people were saying Obama is invading Texas as we speak, it's happening, and I'm just you do know this is 2016, right? People
Yeah.
would know if there was an invasion of Texas.
Propaganda, man. It's wonderful.
It's horrible. Lack of information is one of the worst things
It's
ever.
you know what all this what it comes down to?
But
A poor educational system.
yeah,
Period.
I want to ask you about pay transparency. I don't know
Pay
how
transparency?
I was watching a debate that was about pay transparency.
Okay.
Do you believe that if you work within a company, which I know you haven't, but let's say if you have, let's say if you work in a corporate world that I am, should your pay be public? Meaning how much you make, should that be public knowledge?
I believe so, yeah, because
Yeah, I
that would be
agree.
part of the bigger transparency of money. Money itself should be super transparent.
I agree.
I want to know exactly how much a doctor makes per year. And I want to know how many times that doctor fucks up and kills someone on accident.
Yeah.
Because, again, back to the beginning, so many... I can't believe this report, man.
What do you think about it? Yeah.
Medical mistakes.
Number 3. You're
is
right, by the way.
number 3 killer of American people. And how much is it to get any kind of surgery done, or buying medication?
In U.S.,
Or
hundreds
getting-
of thousands. Yeah.
It's nuts. Why
If
is
you're
it
doing
so
something
expensive?
major, you're in debt
Especially,
for quite a
it
bit.
shouldn't be that expensive if so many people are dying from it. Duh.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to be a doctor because you want to help people, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Should you get paid a lot of money for
Yes.
that? Yes, you should, because that's one of the biggest jobs.
Yeah.
By the way, I believe teaching is one of the biggest jobs,
I
and
agree.
these guys are not getting paid enough.
No, they're getting paid like
Anyways,
30,000 or something. Which
it's
is
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's awful.
Like, you have the sole responsibility of teaching the youth to be good human beings later, so
Yeah.
that they can boost the economy and make us America great again.
Yeah. Teaching is a great investment. I don't know why we decide not to make that much.
So, and then in the meantime, doctors who fuck up all the time. Third, I can't believe this.
So I'll play devil's advocate here. How often are doctors fucking up? Like, how often is Joe Smith, the doctor, killing people? Because I feel like if it was a lot,
well,
like,
maybe
they would do something
so
about it, right?
you know, like we talked about this last episode about the Broken Mind movie.
if Joe Smith is an actual doctor, I'm not talking about you. That's just a name
Yeah.
I came up with. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Joe. Like, there's doctors out there, you know, at like the threshold of like technology and science and knowledge. And sure, when there's cases that are like right there where we're still trying to figure out how to fix them, we're still trying to figure out how to understand a disease or anything in the body. Yes, mistakes gonna happen there, but that's for the sake of science. That's for science advancement, and it sucks to say that, but that's okay. That's how we're gonna get better
Yeah.
at fixing people.
And people die in
But I
general,
bet you a lot of the deaths that the report is talking about are from literal mistakes, misjudgment, errors during surgery. Where if you're a doctor and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for surgeries that you're doing, you better not fuck up. That's your job. You went to school for this.
Like
your
you're saying,
whole life.
communication breakdowns or diagnostic errors.
Do you think there's a lot of people out there, like people our age, that are going through medical schools right now just because they know it's a good job that's
Yeah.
going to make them a lot of money?
yeah.
Don't you think that's wrong?
I absolutely do.
They're not passionate about it. They just want to make money. I'm sure there's a lot of people going there because they want to help other people.
Yeah.
Props to them.
No, I think
gosh,
I
it's
think the
frustrating.
fact that they want to, like, as bad as it sounds, and as much as I personally disagree, the fact that they want to go for something that has money and the society has a need for, that's a good thing. We should have that motivating factor. Like,
Yeah.
we should always have that. And
I'm not cleaning fools 'cause I love it.
Yeah, those people should keep doing it and, you know, go for that degree and get the job done. But I think they should not be overcharging, and that comes down more to insurance companies and hospitals
Overcharging
for their services.
for teaching, or no? You mean when you're a doctor, overcharging?
Correct.
Yeah,
but that
okay,
comes
sure.
down more to insurance and hospitals.
That's another thing. We should talk about insurance eventually one day.
We can talk about it today.
I don't know
one-
enough. I got to educate myself.
But like, one of the issues, and I can go back to the article that I was reading, if a doctor is doing 2 or 3 back-to-back surgeries that are 4 or 6 hours each, that last one, he's less of a good doctor.
He's
than
less
he is
alert.
So mistakes do happen, and that's because the dude's human. Like,
Well, again,
Yeah.
it should be protocol not to do more than 12 hours of surgery at a time.
I agree.
Like, come on.
Like, but dude, even think about it. There's surgeries that are 12 hours long that a
Right.
surgeon has to do. That's insane.
Even more.
Can you do anything for
No,
12 hours
well,
long?
yes, but not surgery. Like,
But can you do anything well for 12 hours straight? I can't do anything.
don't know,
well for
probably
12
not.
Yeah.
So but again, like, a doctor is done with an 8-hour surgery, and
Yeah.
there's like an emergency where he needs to.
Yeah.
Now, people going through the surgery need to understand, like, okay, I just got out of there. You need my services now. I will do it because I want to help you,
Yeah.
but I'm tired and shit might go wrong. That's all disclaimers.
But you
and stuff,
you
which
always
I'm okay
write
with, but-
waivers. Like
waivers,
that,
yeah.
yes, no horrible things will happen.
Yeah.
Like, I knew 2 doctors that operate within Scottsdale. They're both fantastic people, but their business is a plastic surgery office. I don't think it's called plastic surgery anymore, but it's called something else. But that's basically what they do. Their main profitable thing is they make people look pretty based
Right.
on what that person wants to do. But the 2 partners, one of them, his main thing that he still does to this day is he is an on-call and the head of whatever you call that type of surgery for a hospital down in Phoenix. And he basically does traumas and things like that. So no matter what kind of day he's having, if the hospital gets a call and they need him, he has to go there. And
Yeah.
he does go there. That's
He's
his
on
passion.
call, yeah.
Like, one of the many examples is if somebody shoots themselves in the face when they're trying to commit suicide, and one of the things that they need to do is put his face back together. This is the dude that goes there on
Right.
that day to put all the bones in the right place
Right.
and do all that. So Is he tired if he's getting that call at 11 p.m. to go?
I don't know, man.
Probably.
But
What should
he's
he
gonna
do?
Get $30,000 in a day.
Yeah, but
who knows how much
he
he's
probably
getting
doesn't
paid.
even do it for the money. But
No, probably not.
But should he not do it if he's tired? I don't think so, because who else is going to do it?
But again, no, sure, I understand that.
Yeah.
If someone's like life pretty much depends on a tired doctor to be there,
Yeah.
then the doctor is going to do it just out of sheer passion.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's out of sheer
Yeah.
passion. But then, the recipient of his service needs to realize that the doctor's tired, and bad stuff happens when you're tired. Like, you're not 100% alert.
I feel like it probably comes down to money again, because not everything, as long as there's a human involved in the process, when it comes to medicine, there's human involved on both ends of it, as a patient, as a doctor. That means an error could happen. An error it's probable that an error will happen at some level. So as long as we accept that, then medical deaths shouldn't be as big of a deal. But the fact that the medical community as a whole gets to charge so much amount of money for what they do, you would think for what it costs that much, they would be a lot better at it. So,
Right.
we need to get the cost down to a better level.
A reasonable level.
Yeah, but also do research so you can become better at it. So you can, like, nobody's saying you guys are heroes, but, 600,000 people a year, is that something like that?
Is that what it says? Is that the number?
Let's see.
There's no way it's almost like
250,000 Americans die each year from medical errors.
But that also includes misdiagnostic, misdiagnosis.
That's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, some of these cases, I'm sure, are like, okay, I have doctors like, we've never seen that before in the medical community. We're gonna try this. It might kill you.
I don't think so. I think what it is, and this ties back to insurance, it's the new business model for general practice. If they're accepting patients, the way he makes most of his money, the way he can run his office is to see as many patients as possible during that, let's say 10, 11 hours that he's open, right? So he will have other partners, or more than likely, he is literally going from patient to patient to patient to patient to patient and spending something like 5-10 minutes with them, and then diagnosing and prescribing within that time.
Right.
Like, that's not going to work for everybody.
No.
Like, it's not. It doesn't even need to be like a house case where it's insane and there's a fungus living in a bird that you ate, whatever.
Right.
It's not, it could be just something something
Simple.
really simple that the dude just fucked up because he's going to the next patient.
Which happens
all the time, I imagine.
That's human. That happens. It's human to make mistakes. But if you're a doctor, if you're making a mistake, then next time make sure you see less patients so you can be more focused on the
Righty,
one you have,
tighty,
so
or
you
lefty
make
loose?
another mistake.
Correct.
But
then
these
that's our
guys have
insurance
this
is episode 12.
Yeah, sure. But again, like,
Why? You can just be
I don't
natural.
know.
I didn't
It's a
screw
weird
anything.
vicious
By the way.
cycle with the
I didn't
insurance, the
screw up
doctors.
anything. I screwed lots of things. I don't know.
in bad shape.
My theory, which is not even a crazy theory, is that's why we'll never get a single payer here, where a government provides your health insurance and basically covers your health for you. It's because the private insurance groups
Start
are such a
turning into this one.
massive community here. Like, it's unbelievable how big they are, how profitable they are. That how do you take that on an industry like that? Like, it's part of our everyday life of every American.
Yeah.
And you're gonna need to have it, and you're gonna need to use it at some point. Like, how do you?
And
They're gonna fight to the death to keep it.
It's illegal not to have it.
As of right now.
For your car, for your this, and probably soon for your phone.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the
Phone insurance?
No, the Affordable Health Care Act making insurance required.
I haven't really looked into it. I thought insurance was required anyways.
No.
Then it's kind of shady. That's my first instinct reaction to knowing it's not. It's that you have to have it, and you didn't have to have it before. Now it's illegal not to have insurance. That's weird.
You're not going to go to jail, and they can't. Basically, what it is the compromise that they came up with is there's a fee. If you don't get insurance, if you don't have insurance for a certain amount of
You pay
time
a
every
fee.
year, you pay a fee. But part of that compromise is that fee, which is basically goes through IRS, but it shows up on your taxes when you're doing it every year. Like, that's one of the questions that they're asking.
Yeah.
Now. IRS cannot legally collect that fee. Meaning when you get your tax bill, it will say, $200 because you don't have insurance. Or let's say, I don't know,
Right.
let's go crazy.
You mean-
$5,000 because you don't have insurance, right?
Right.
You can elect to pay your taxes, excluding that $5,000, and you're not going to get collections
You mean
calls.
putting it as a deductible?
No.
No? Okay.
Like,
Right.
you're like, technically
You
you
can-
owe the government, but the
But you
IRS can't come to you and be like, hey, pay us our 5,000, pay us our 5,000.
So you don't have to.
Correct.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But I mean, pay your.
It's good to have insurance because
Yeah.
as healthy as you want to be, like, you could like fall and break your something, and then you don't want to pay all that out of pocket.
Yeah, but that also shouldn't be a for-profit business. Like that's one of the things that's so disgusting about it. Like,
Yeah, but if it's not a for-profit business, then only the government's going to want to do it.
let's get the government to do it somehow.
Sure,
I agree.
Isn't that how it is in Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, in Europe, I keep hearing stories about people that find out about the American healthcare system, and they're like, "Dude, I broke my arm last week. It was like $5."
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
But I think there's a lot more private institutions now that are, how do I say that? I think some people in France are trying to get away from the government's
They are.
thing.
England
this
is probably
everywhere.
at the leading edge of that, but there's other countries in France and in Europe that are doing that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which I hope they don't. I hope the European people are like, we don't want that. We
As
don't
long
want what's
as
happening
as
in
long
America.
as yeah, I mean same education though. As long as everybody's doing it like Finland.
No, Finland again.
Yeah.
How did we talk about Finland last time? You
I
sent me a text
wanted to
about it.
bring it up because that's something an article I read I found really interesting. I'm really like passionate about the education thing, even though I don't really do much research. When I see an article, I read it
Okay.
because, again, like bad education, it's bad for a country. It's bad for the world.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't. I hate correcting people, but I love it when you make mistakes because most people make mistakes and they sound dumb. You make mistakes and you make things more awesome. You just
What do
mixed
you-
up bad and education. You put them into one word and it became bad education.
Bad
And it wa-
education.
Bad education.
Bad education.
And it was amazing.
We gotta stop this bad education here.
I'm gonna write that down because I feel like I'm gonna need a use for that term later on.
Bad education.
Like I feel like you have this genius within you that you don't even realize that you're coming up with this shit, and you should like trademark it.
I've been known to create words.
One of the things that I wrote down, and this has nothing to do with it. I really do think we should come down to a format where we talk about smaller topics within an episode.
We can. We love talking about big things like this.
No. No, I agree. But like, I'm saying smaller as in like time periods, like where we
Oh.
do 4 15-minute topics per episode.
yeah, that's good.
So
And have like a little like
yeah,
between
dude,
them.
I want to try it. at
That's
least.
cool. I'm down. I'll have some. Send me some sounds and I'll put them into a.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Christopher Hitchens, you're still recording, right?
Yeah. Who's that?
He's a journalist, public speaker, just a crazy loudmouth from England. Like he's like, if you listen to him talk, he might sound smart, but it's not hard to hate the guy because he sounds like an asshole. One of the things that I found out about him yesterday, I think this happened a while ago. He was for waterboarding as a torture,
Okay.
and basically was saying that it's not much. It gives a simulation of drowning. Blah blah. We
Right.
need to do it. Whatever the reasoning might have been valid, but basically somebody said you should try it before you say something.
Right.
Hats off to him. He tried it.
Wow, that's
He
good.
tried it on camera.
That's good.
And then immediately changed his stance that we should not do this.
Well, it's torture.
And watching
And
him
what was
do
he
it,
thinking? Did he think it was going to be like less than pleasant or more than pleasant?
he
Or what am I saying?
genuinely thought that you were being simulated that you're gonna drown.
Right. But then he tried it and he realized that it's way worse than that.
He,
but again,
he
but
tried it, and
but
his
that's
immediate
torture.
his immediate response was that you're drowning.
Do you think people should be tortured to get information that's going to
No.
save thousands of lives?
Not at all.
Why?
Because we've proven over and over again, and
some
pretty
people
much
just won't talk.
No, not in. But everybody will talk. That's the whole problem with it. Is that you can torture me right now, and I will somehow admit to you that I'm going to blow up the World Trade Center, even
Right.
though I have no intention of doing it. I will admit
Just
if
to
that's
stop
exactly.
the right now pain.
Correct.
Right.
So that's why the courts
So
agree.
that's why it's pointless.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even the military courts agree.
Then why don't they like threaten people with other things?
How? What?
I don't
What
know.
other things?
Their
Everything counts
families.
as torture.
Everything that you see in movies.
Yeah, they can't.
Like, we'll
Like,
kill off
they
your whole
do
family.
that stuff, and the intelligence community wants the ability to be able to do something, right?
To get information out.
to do whatever they need to get information out.
Right.
But then we have people in Guantanamo Bay that the military court and the lawyers that represent the military, which is less lenient than our civilian military. I
Right.
mean, they have less rights protected by.
Yeah.
Those lawyers are still saying, hey, I can't try this because the dude was tortured. Like, as much as I want to take this to court and we prove to everybody that he did something wrong,
Yeah.
they're like, you got this information from a torture. He's
Yeah.
like, I can't make this last in any court. Like, that information is not viable in any way. So
Yeah.
I don't, that for that reason alone, we shouldn't torture people because
makes sense.
anybody will say anything.
That makes sense. But then how do you stop massive bad plots from happening if you know something's happening? You don't?
I don't think you shouldn't do anything, But at the same time, I fully believe that
can't-
shit will happen.
Yeah. Either way, bad shit could
Yeah.
happen. That sucks, man.
Like, I don't think 9/11 was an inside job. Maybe we knew something, and maybe it was an inside mistake
Yeah.
letting it happen. But I don't think torturing hundreds of thousands of people even before that event would have stopped something like that happening.
Anyways,
Yeah,
it's getting too dark for me.
I was gonna say.
Check this out. I'm sure within our lifetime we're gonna see a few of these things.
What?
Microsoft experiments with synthetic DNA data storage that could hold 1 trillion gigabytes
Yeah.
in 1 gram.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's amazing. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But
They
they're
need to-
just fueling AI that's gonna kill all of us one day.
That's dude. Even Elon Musk has
Theories about AI.
he has fears about it. He's
Well, I
very
mean-
he's very public about the fact that we should hold off on this whole AI thing for a while.
Well, storage. I mean, all the technology that we're doing is part of AI.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, automation and
Yeah,
algorithms,
automation.
which I have yet to watch that documentary.
That really, I mean, I kind of had an idea what algorithms were, but this documentary is like, it's really simple. They put it in such simple ways that any
What is it
idiots
called?
like me can, I don't remember, can
Dude,
understand
you know what
it.
we didn't do today?
No, but you're gonna tell me,
What's your name?
Remy.
I'm Nima.
Oh,
Wow.
we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, this is kind of sad. At this point, you guys, sorry, I'm Nima.
leave us
That's Remy.
leave us comments. Something else.
Tell me.
The University of Florida holds the world's first mind-controlled drone race.
Oh my god. Have you seen drone races? Have you watched those?
I can imagine.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
They're beyond
but
amazing.
With your mind,
Even more
you
awesome.
just literally like Let's see what else. Oh, great! A new EEG headset. What does EEG stand for? Can you look that up?
EEG?
Yeah.
I feel like I know what that is, but I'll look it up.
A new
anyway.
EEG headset lets users send a text message from your phone simply by thinking it.
Yeah.
I need that. I need that now.
It's the things that are picking up signals from your brain.
Yeah, but what's the acronym stand for?
EEG?
Electro something. Let me guess it.
All right.
Electro.
I still don't know, so keep saying electro over and over again.
What's the G stand? Graphic? No.
Oh, wait. It's one word. So, yeah, there's no way you would have guessed
Wait,
that.
it's one word?
Yeah, it's one long word. Electroencephalogram.
Electroencephalogram.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's what EEG stands for.
Well, what if you're thinking something bad and you text like, your mom on accident?
Dude, I was gonna talk to you about that.
By my mom?
So no, yes. Tell her. No, I'm not even gonna make that joke. Your mom's wonderful.
Your mom was wonderful. Dude, our moms haven't met. They would get along so well.
I don't want
They're
that
like
to
the
happen.
same person.
I know they are. We call them the same thing. We call both of our moms maman.
My mom.
Maman, whatever,
Whatever.
fucking French. So somebody posed this question, right? In U.S., we have a criminal system that actually, in theory, is set up perfectly. Meaning, the person who's accused of the crime has a lot of protections. Meaning, all the hard work is done by everybody else, not you as the person who's accused of, let's say, murder or theft.
Well, your lawyer
Yeah.
takes care of.
No, well, like let's say state of Arizona comes and accuses you of murder or theft or something. It's up to the state of Arizona not only to accuse you but to prove you. They have an uphill battle theoretically.
Right.
That they not only have your protections of a trial with the jury of your
Yeah,
peers,
unreasonable
a
doubt.
speedy trial,
They
all
gotta
those
prove
things.
every single detail
beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, and
So-
they gotta convince the jury that you're
Correct.
a bad person and you did this.
So there's a lot of interesting hypothetical and theoretical situations around what protections you have. Like one of the protections you have is you cannot incriminate yourself at all. Meaning in the United
even if you say something about, what if you say, are you saying you can't? If I said something like, oh yeah, I stole a candy bar.
that's incriminating yourself.
Oh, okay.
So the protection
you shouldn't incriminate.
Correct.
Which is pretty obvious though.
No, but the rest of the world doesn't have that protection. Like in England, if I'm not mistaken, or in Europe, like they can put you in prison until you admit to that crime that they know you did.
That's crazy.
In US, theoretically, you can just simply not answer the questions because you're pleading the fifth and you don't want to incriminate yourself.
Yeah. So you
So-
remain silent.
So one of the questions that they posed was, where does the self in the phrase incriminating yourself, where does that apply? Where does it stop? is your cell phone part of
you?
yourself?
Good question.
So if it is, then
Then
should the
FBI
police have
is-
access to it?
Yeah.
Or
Seriously.
are your mind and your thoughts, is that part of yourself? If we ever get the technology
Well,
to read your mind, which
yeah.
is coming,
Yeah, it's coming. Sure.
should the police have
EEG.
access to it? Should the police have access?
electro and what?
Electroencephalogram. I can't do.
Electroencephalogram.
Sure. Should the police have access to that? Should the police have access to your thoughts and use it against you?
I think what technology is doing is bridging the gap between what we know and what we hope to ever know, which
Okay.
is, what is the self? What does it mean to be? What are we doing here?
Should laws be updated? Like, should basic rights be updated?
I guess so. But then people are going to start saying like, well, laws should have never been there in the first place, and it should be about survival of the fittest.
I don't know about that because
Well,
you need certain
I don't know either.
protections.
I'm just saying people
Yeah,
will
I
start
agree.
thinking that. You need certain if you need those protections, if America is so great, and that's because when you get arrested, cops are like, you have the right to remain silent. That's your
Yeah.
Fifth Amendment or
Yeah.
whatever. That's great for people who are innocent because they're innocent until
Yeah.
proven guilty. It sucks for people who everyone knows they did it,
Yeah.
but we still have to go through the months of trials and all that. But now, if since this is starting to happen, all these like philosophical questions, like is the self this and that,
Yeah.
like if they have the technology starts looking into that, then yes, to keep what America does to keep what's happening right now with the cops
Yeah.
telling you like this and that, then you have to update the laws. You have to update the writings, and that's why I have a problem with some politicians saying like
The Constitution.
you can't change the Constitution. Like you have to change it because what 200 years ago,
Yeah, sure.
100 when they wrote the Constitution. We should know these things, but
I'll Google it as
yeah,
we're talking.
figure it out. When the Constitution was written, we didn't know as much as we do now, and because of that reason,
226 years.
this should update the
They
Constitution.
do. I hate the
Oh,
argument
they
that
do?
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Theoretically, there's room for it, but we haven't done it in ages. Like that's why we have the amendments. I hate the argument that the Constitution
they
is
keep putting
perfect.
amendments. Yeah,
Is we have amendments. We're somehow scared of doing
but
amendments
we're never
now.
scratching anything. We're never deleting anything from the Constitution.
We did.
We just keep adding stuff.
They added the fact that alcohol was illegal,
Right.
and then they added another thing saying never mind.
Well, that's a change. Yeah, it's not deleting anything that was written in the past.
Correct, but it's the Constitution is written in a kind of a vague way, so certain things don't necessarily need to be deleted.
And-
but we've stopped doing amendments. Like they're saying, basically more or less because of the political atmosphere of U.S. right now, and an amendment is almost impossible to pass. So I mean, they
But
try
what about
hundreds of times.
what about all these small bills that have nothing to do with the bill at hand that they're trying to pass?
Oh, you're talking
Why?
about when
Why
they-
is that allowed?
It should be legal.
What
I
is that
agree.
called? Is there a name for that?
There
When
is a name
they
for it.
attach smaller bills that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with the main bill, and they pass the main bill, and then so this shitty little bill is passed with it. That's wrong, man. Why do they do that?
Let's see.
And I'm sure they have answers for all these
I
questions.
think it's called a rider.
writer. I think I've heard that term before.
Yeah. That should be absolutely legal, and any politician that does it should be absolutely ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. Gosh.
That is not what we pay you for.
No.
It's so ridiculous.
It's
And
been an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah, send it.
Let's send it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great talk today.
That was an awesome time.
Yeah.
Dude, we're getting really good at.
We just
Talking to
getting
each other.
comfortable and stuff, but we love talking about politics,
We do.
whether we like it or not. We love talking about science and the human condition, pretty much. I guess. I want to listen to episode 11. It's
Me
not
too.
posted yet, but
I'm gonna post it like in 2 days. In
I
one
guess
day.
we have to stop talking about previous episodes
Nah.
if they're posted or not, because this is not going to come out, and when this comes out, episode 11 will be posted.
Yeah. It's hard to do that. It's hard to control your own speech.
It's been
But
fun.
we'll
today.
get it. We'll get to a point that we can do it faster and better. And
Yeah.
So for the next one, let's try doing that. Let's try doing shorter.
15-minute sections,
Four
four topics.
Not time it, but let's have a certain topics
Yeah, but
and see if we
the
can
topics, we start talking about stuff randomly, and it's awesome. We can't limit ourselves.
But no, we won't. Let's say
We'll have to
you'll
discipline ourselves to keep coming back.
Well, that's true too. But you'll start a topic and we'll talk about it, and then when we feel like there's a natural pause in it, we'll switch to another topic.
Can we
And-
have noises?
Yeah, we'll definitely
Can
do
you
noises.
bring me noises for next time so I can put them in my
Can
computer?
you make noises? Can
I
you make
don't-
a spinning Batman sound?
I'm
gonna-
Wait, what is a spinning Batman sound?
Because they did a spinning transition in Batman when they were doing it. Like it's like wham, and then we would come and go Batman.
Oh, like.
Here you go. I'm gonna find it.
Oh, the suspense is killing me, Nima.
Like that,
It's funny that you call this spinning.
like that, like the old school
Just
Batman.
send me stuff.
You send me
No,
stuff.
I don't want to look for stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'll send you stuff. But can you? We need to figure out a way for the synthesizer to work with my computer. I realized the hack
You
that I
haven't picked
did.
it up?
The hack that I did isn't really working.
What hack?
What I did is basically I hooked up the synthesizer to my computer, right? And I couldn't get a MIDI software, but maybe that's just the thing I need to do is
Yeah.
get a MIDI software. So I have another software that's picking up the sounds that the audio library of the keyboard is playing as a regular WAV file.
Oh,
But I
okay.
realized when I press those buttons, what I hear through the headphones is not exactly how the computer records the audio when I press record. There's gaps, there's skips. It's not playing the
Yeah,
same.
okay.
It's not playing the reverberations right.
Yeah.
It's not recording it right. Sorry, it's playing
That's
it perfectly.
weird. I
But
don't
I feel
know.
like all of that would be fixed if I just do MIDI.
Well, yeah, you could use your keyboard as a MIDI controller, and that triggers sounds in your computer.
Yeah.
And then when you can record MIDI tracks, so that means you can have the MIDI notes on the track in front of on your screen on the computer, and then you can change the sounds. So you can play back, and as it's playing back, you can make it a violin instead of a
Yeah, I
piano
remember
instead
you
of-
like lowering it in the notes.
Yeah,
thing,
you can
so it would
change the
it,
notes.
yeah.
It's great. MIDI is like having like your own personal instrument players.
Yeah,
Anyways, this has been fun.
it's been really fun. I love
12
this episode.
episodes. We're pretty far ahead.
Yeah, and we're doing another podcast on the side, which hopefully, yeah, by the point this one's out, that one will be out too.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening, the two of you, and leave comments.
Please do.
We
Please
don't
talk to
care who
us.
you are. I mean, we do care who you are, but please just leave us anything,
Yeah, don't be shy.
and we will talk about it next episode.
Yeah.
Promise. That's a promise.
I'm gonna start doing giveaways and shit because
No.
I have games that are sitting in my gift
I
library.
trimmed my beard this morning. I will give you away my beard.
All right,
trimmings.
weirdo. Let's end it. Thanks everybody for listening. Please follow, subscribe, rate, and like Remy said, we would love for you guys to talk to us and tell us what you think or have questions.
Yeah.
So engage. We're on Twitter at StudioCast. The website is stadio.com/podcasts. I think that's
You don't
the
know
name.
the website?
We're doing changes because we're adding the other one to it. So I forgot what it's called. I think it's stadio.com/podcast. Like
Oh,
if you go
check out the other podcast, the gaming one. It's called Closed Beta.
yeah. Hopefully that name will stick.
There's 4 of us, and we talk about video games.
Yeah, and it's
That's very
insane.
broad. And
It's
yeah.
maddening.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you at episode 13. I am Remy.
I'm Nima, and we love you guys.
See you later.
Bye.